Hello everyone, it's Gigo here and welcome back to another motivational video of building a house here in Ghana. If it is your first time here, this is the Pram Pram project, which is my personal project, right? So this is a 7 bedroom house. I mean, at this point, I would say it is more of like apartment because when we started with this project, it was just a home, right? A one level home, and then we converted it into a story building, which is a house, right? And now, I mean, it looks more like apartment now because we have the third level. And I mean, who knows? Maybe tomorrow it's going to be a hotel, and maybe the next, you know, 10 to 20 years, I mean, it's going to be a museum. I mean, you never know, right? I mean, we keep improving and we keep building on, right? I mean, it's been 4 to 5 years since we started with this project. I mean, if I'm saying this project already has history, right? So that's why I said maybe in the future it might be a museum, because when we started with this building thing in Ghana on YouTube, I mean, I could count only 2 channels, or let me say 3, right? And I mean, today we have a lot of people that got motivated, also created some channels. Other people are building their homes, and I mean, so far with those that started before me, most of them have finished building their homes and already living in. We are still here because I want to make history, right? I just don't want to build house. I just want to make a statement. I just want people to understand the building process, right? Because there's a reason why I came to the YouTube channel. I could just go straight forward and just finish this house, but I just want people to learn during the process, because we are here to save money. We are here to build, a legacy, right? So I'll put it that way. It is not just a house, right? I mean, you might see so many houses close to this structure, but there is a history behind it, which, I mean, at the right time, we will come and have a talk, right? And then you understand what is actually happening here. So my goal for this project is actually seeing it as a museum, right? In the future, where one day I will sit down and talk about how far we have come and how we started with this project. I mean, those of you that started with me, I mean, you already know the process, and I mean, you can tell most of the story, right? Even much better than me, right? I mean, the internet doesn't lie. I mean, if you go to the internet, the date and time are all there when we started with this. I mean, but it's been a beautiful journey, right? I've learned a lot, and I'm glad that I have to come and put out this thing here to go through that process. Maybe if I would have been in a hurry to just build my house and finish, I might not even get to this stage. It would have been just a home, right? Or just a house, or just an apartment, right? But this lies the case where we are looking all the way to having a museum where we will sit down and have a talk, and I mean, talk about what has happened. I mean, if you are talking about Gigo Production Group, that's what you are seeing on your screen. This house gave birth to the Gigo Production Group, right? If you're talking about Gigo Production Group, this is it, right? And if you're talking about this project, you are looking at Efo, you are looking at Brother Sami, you are looking at Ni, the steel bender, you are looking at, all the members, that you see here on the channel. Everybody has played a part with this structure, right? And that's how far we have come as a group, right, to put up. So, I mean, this is history, right? This is history. And I mean, like I said, we will sit down one day and talk about all that has happened with this project. And also, I know some of you have questions when it comes to all the houses around it. I mean, that's also, another thing that we will sit down and talk. But it's a beautiful journey, right? It is a beautiful journey how far we've come. So, I mean, let's get back to today's, video, which is about the plastering. Right, so as you can see, I mean, we are working with a strategy here. I mean, for those that started with us, you know that this project is all about ideas, tips, and strategies. That is what we use to build this house, right? That's why if you go back to my playlist and you watch the cost estimate, the cost is very low, right? That's because we are working with a strategy. So you could see that the plastering is not going in one line, right? Today you see the guys working here, and then the next day you see them at a different, because FO, I mean, we didn't buy scaffold, right? We have FO putting up the scaffold, and we don't have enough of the wood. So what we do is that we have to do shifting, right? So today the guys will be working at the ground level plastering, and FO will be busy at the other side, mounting the scaffold. And then the next day they have to switch. The guys goes on top, FO takes a break, and then the next day, I mean, that's how we keep going. So you will be seeing the transformation slowly. It took us, I think, 2.5 weeks to do all the plastering for all the body. I mean, all the outside plastering, right? And you will see the transformation, you know, with this project. I mean, as we progress, right? So, I mean, another thing that I would also like to talk about today with this structure is, I mean, why are we building house in Ghana, right? Why do we want to build a house? I think this is some of the questions that we don't normally ask. Sometimes we watch these videos on YouTube, we get motivated, and we want to do much better, right? But sometimes we don't ask the question, why do we want it? Do we really need it? Right. I mean, I will use this as example. My parents have a house, right? I mean, when it comes to place that I will sleep, I have a place to sleep, right? But why am I building the house? I mean, that is the question, right? Are you building for your kids? Are you building for your children, right? I mean, that is what most of us say. But the question is, why are you not staying in your parents' house? Your parents also build a house for you. Why are you not staying there and building your own house? So that's the picture that we have to see, that one day our kids will also come and say they don't want the house that we went through hell to build for them. They also want their own house, right? So, I mean, this comes to the subject where we have to look at building something simple and investing more into our kids, right? It will be best if we kind of, buy the land and just, get a documentation done, everything registered. We just leave it for them, right? So you can see that this house is close to other little structures, right? If I tell you that this land belongs to my grandfather, bought this land when my father was just 7 years old, right? Bought the land when my father was just 7 years old. And today, right, is the grandkids that are doing something on the land, right? So I mean, it's this subject. I'm just touching on little subjects that, and I mean, I'll be coming up to put out here. So I mean, this is a family land. I mean, my grandfather gave birth to 6 kids, right? But when he bought the land, he had only one kid, which was my father. So we're talking about 50 something years ago, right? So, I mean, if they have to share this land, I mean, they have to divide a whole 100 by 100 plot of land into 6, right? But here lies a case where the kids, I mean, they don't want to build here. So what do? They sell the lands, or they give the lands away, right? So when we are planning, I mean, I'm saying this for us to kind of think about what we are doing, because I know what people go through to build houses in Ghana. They go through hell. They have to do 2 jobs, 3 jobs. But the question is, will our kids go back to living there? Or when we are no more, they are just going to sell the house and move on with their life? Or when we are done, they will still want to build their own house. So when we are planning of building our dream house, let's involve our kids. I mean, if some of them are at the age of 15, 16, 17 years, let's sit down with them and let's discuss, hey, this is what I want to build. What do you think about it? If they play a major part in the decision, right, then I mean, when you are no more, they don't feel like just selling the house and just moving on with their life or doing their own thing, right? Maybe they can tell you, oh, okay, maybe let's just, build something simple for now, and in the future, let's do something bigger together, right? I mean, this is some of the things that I have learned with this particular project, right? I have learned with this particular project when it comes to what kind of houses that we have to build, or what do we actually need now. To me, I would say so far what I've learned is that we should just invest in our kids, right? Let's just get them the land, right? I mean, this land, like I said, this land was bought 50 something years ago, and the kids knew nothing about it. The kids knew nothing about it until when I wanted to do something around Pampam Dorinya. That's when one of our aunties said, your grandfather has land, which, I mean, is lying down. Nobody knows about it. These are the documents. And I mean, we went and then we saw this. And I mean, look at what we are getting. Look at the views that we are getting from here. If you should buy this land today, you can't afford. It's so expensive. I can't afford to buy a land at this location during this time, right? But this is, some of the pipelines our forefathers laid down for us to come and enjoy. So we should look at more about investing. The land, I mean, if you know about any land that you think will be a hot cake in the next 10 years, I mean, you can get those land for as low as 40,000 Ghana cedis, 50,000 Ghana cedis. Buy those land, invest in those land. I mean, you might have more case in the future, right? So maybe buy 3 plot or 1 acre, which is 4. I mean, in this case, my grandfather had only 1 kid at that time. So my grandfather bought just one piece of land, right? But here lies the case that he had more kids and all of them have to share 1 plot of land. So if you buy 1 acre, which is 4 plots, leave it there. If you have more kids in the future, everybody has one. And just focus on what you actually need now. You are living in the West. You are not at home most of the times. Just build a simple structure, live in, and your kids will build that mansion for you to come and enjoy, right? So, I mean, if our fathers would have done these things for us, right? Maybe set up, buy land at strategical places, we will have it easy. I mean, I am having it easy, actually. Trust me, I am just having it easy here. I just have to build on it. I don't have to deal with the land document, hustle, what other people go through with land. I don't have to go through, right? But I mean, like I said, I'm just touching on little subjects. We will sit down one day and have a real talk about this structure so that you understand why we have so many houses around this structure, right? And why we have to invest in our kids now, which maybe in the future we might also come and benefit, right? So here we have Mr. Kwete doing some supplies. I mean, in my previous episode, we talk about analyzing the structure. We've done that. We need more blocks because, I mean, I want to cover some of the penthouse. I mean, the glasses are getting too expensive now. When I started with the project, like I said, one bag of cement was like 40 Ghana cedis. So when I did my cost estimate with the glass and everything, it was cheaper. But now, it's expensive. So, I mean, I have to cover most of the thing with block work. So you can see we just covered this portion, right, with some of the block work. I mean, I'm still thinking at the front if I should leave it or just, you know, and I have to make this decision before the plastering, you know, they have to do the plastering over there, right? So, I mean, I know I've said a lot, right, in this video, but this is just, to give you an idea what is coming, right? As the structure is taking shape, it is time to have that conversation. It's time to look back and see what we did wrong and how to correct things in the future, right? So, I mean, if you want to know more about this project, how much we've spent, everything is in the playlist, cost estimates, everything you need is there. So then I think this brings us to the end of today's episode. I really do appreciate your time spent here on the channel. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in my next episode. Like, we.